Hello, my fellow Terrarians, and welcome to part 2 of the Dragon Ball Terraria mod. If you haven't seen part 1, go check it out, it's on my channel. Oh well, we are going to be picking up right where we left off, which is just coming off killing the wall of flesh. So let's start off hard mode the right way. By starting off hard mode the right way, I meant that by breaking altars first thing I do in hard mode, and I use these special aid items to break the altars. When you mass break altars like I just did, it tends to result in you getting mass swarmed. After killing all the raids, I went down on the ground to start mining for some cobalt to begin my progress through this mod. I was mining for some cobalt so that I can use this cobalt to make a cobalt pickaxe to further progress. After making the cobalt pickaxe and replacing my old pickaxe with it, I went back down on the ground to start mining for some orichalcum. When I finished mining the orichalcum, I made a new pickaxe with said orichalcum. Once again, I went back down on the ground to start grinding for the new material that drops post wall of flesh. The new material that I was grinding for is called Angerful Key Crystals. This key crystals is going to be useful. After grinding for about an hour or so, I went back to the surface where I started crafting new weapons called the Spirit Bomb, Big Bang Attack, Super Kamehameha, Energy Shot, and the Special Beam Cannon. After making those weapons, I then reforged them to get a better reforge on them that will reduce my key consumption and also do more damage. When I got done reforging the weapons, I headed to my Eater of Worlds arena. When I got to the arena, I began the Slime Queen fight. Slime is a royal pain in the butt, pun intended. She always brings me closer to death more than any other boss in this game that I've began to notice. But oh well, she's dead right now, so who cares? Also, she doesn't really drop any useful items for me to further progress this mod. I just fought her just to flex. After loitering around my base for a couple of minutes, I went back to the arena and turned it to night, and then summoned the twins. I also hope that this goes a whole lot better than the Queen Slime fights. went up a whole lot better than I expected, because I got a little worried that I was going to be moving too slowly when charging to properly hit the twins, which would make me take a lot of damage from the twins. Well, glad that that didn't happen. Now, do you remember when I said that I don't need to change my genetics in part 1 of the video? Well, you are about to see why that is. I have a very special trait that's the same that you have a chance to get when you make a Terraria character. I wasn't even going for these traits when I made the character. I was just going to do a normal run of this mod. It just happened randomly. It happens that if you die to a boss after the death of a mechanical boss, you get to wake up as a legendary Super Saiyan. After achieving this new form, I started training again to better my mastery and control of this form. And yes, my power is maximuming. After getting to about 50% mastery, I felt that that was enough for now. I also crafted a new scouter. I went back to my Eater of Worlds arena and waited until nighttime fell to fight my second mechanical boss, the Destroyer. And spoiler alert, this is going to be an extremely slow and painful boss fight, so enjoy my suffering. God, these bosses, this was painful, absolutely dreadful, painful. I hate this fight so much. I almost died countless times due to having to charge slowly up my ki and my weapons and then take so much damage from the rogues. 10 out of 10 would not recommend charging. After that horrible fight, I went back to base for some more training in order to fully master my legendary Super Saiyan form. When this form is mastered, it reduces the amount of ki that is drained in order to maintain this form, which means that I can use my ki weapons a lot more than I previously could be able to use them. I waited once again until night time to start my fight with Skedron Prime. Just please don't let this be like Destroyer fights. Glad that this did not end up like the Destroyer fights, because that was a real struggle and pain and something I did not want to endure again. Okay, now that we are post mech bosses, I made some new material using the souls that they dropped. This material was going to be useful for a new armor set called the Demon Armor. It has a set bonus that I also started grinding for new materials that drop post mech bosses. They are called the Souls of Entity. I used these materials to make the trap shooter weapon and the scattershot weapon. I tried them out. I flew over to the jungle and went underground to start building my Plantera arena to use in the future, like about an hour or so. Little did I know that this would be a complete waste of time. When I finished building the arena, I picked up my dragon radar and went hunting for some Dragon Balls to get a wish granted. After gathering all the Dragon Balls, I wished for more health, ki, and damage increase. After prepping off screen for the fight, I flew back down to the jungle to fight Plantera. I broke the pink bulb and waited for her back at my arena so that the fight could properly start. Now, this fight ended a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. This means I am getting stronger and stronger each time I progress, which is a very good thing. Now that I have killed Plantera, a new sort of crystal drops from the enemies in the mushroom biome. These new crystals are called pure ki crystals. They are going to be used to craft the next tier of weapons and armor. After grinding for like 30 minutes, I came back up to the surface and made a new crafting bench, which was then used to create the Super Energy Barrage, Final Flash, Destructor Disc Assault weapons, and the Influent Crystallite, and a new Scouter accessory. I then scurried my way down the dungeon depths after crafting the weapons and the accessory. I was down here for one reason and one reason only, and that was to get some ectoplasm. The ectoplasm was going to be invaluable to me when crafting a new armor set and also new accessories. After grinding for the appropriate amount of ectoplasm, I made the ninja gear and some divine threads that I then used to make the black fusion armor. And also the Spirit Charm accessory. After that, I made a decision to run through the Jungle Temple to try and get some Lizard power cells, which will be both used for crafting and summoning Golem. After looting the Jungle Temple, I bombed the main boss chamber to get rid of the pressure plates that activate the traps. I also made another consumable key scroll for better charging speed. I went back down to the Jungle Temple to fight the Golem. So yes, hoping that this can go over smoothly. Couldn't even last 20 seconds against me. This is too funny. How can you be this trash, Golem? After I got finished fooling the Golem, I went down to the underworld now to grind for a new item called the Demonic Soul, which is dropped by underworld demons, which is going to also help me craft a couple of new weapons and accessories. I used the Demonic Souls to make new weapons like the Supernova and the Kamehameha ×10, and also new accessories like the Ancient Legend, Necklace and Waist Cape. I'm very confident and cocky. I decided to fight the Empress of Light, even though I didn't really need to do that. I did it just to flex, and oh boy, did I almost regret this. Basically, I got all over the place like she was a loan shark and I owed her money. was moving too fast for most of my high damage weapons to hit her properly, which resulted in me getting hits for high amounts of damage instead, because I was too focused on charging my weapons rather than dodging her attacks. Basically humbled me by basically grabbing me by the ear and telling me how trash and stupid I was for thinking that she was going to be light work like the rest of the other bosses were. I did manage to kill her, albeit barely, so there is something. The next day after the Empress fight, I was cautious on how the Fission fight was going to go at this point. So yes to hoping to not die or having near-death experience like the Empress. It's actually the complete opposite of the Empress fight. Fission doesn't move as fast as the Empress because he stays still for quite some time, which means that he can easily deal high amounts of damage with your high damage weapons. I'm killing Fission because he drops the material needed for a new armor set. Also, upon death, it unlocks a new surprise for me to get to. If you have killed Fission and mastered the legendary Super Saiyan form, and take enough damage to put your health very low and put you at death's door, you have a chance to unlock a new form. This new form is called the legendary Super Saiyan 2 form. Yes, I know that the name's a bit cringe, but this is Dragon Ball, so what do you expect? I trained in this form for a while until I reached about 20% mastery. Here is the sped up version of my training session. I crafted the Elite Saiyan battle armor using the materials dropped by Fission. After that, I went back to training to fully master this new form. I then paid the loser cultists loitering around the dungeon a visit. I killed them and spawned the chief loaderer themselves, the lunatic cultist. I think the lunatic cultist was a very difficult fight. Nah, I'm just kidding. I completely trounced and embarrassed them. After killing the cultist, something strange started happening to me. And after a while, I went legendary Super Saiyan 3 for the first time. This is the final form that I can achieve for now. I decided to train this form for a while until I had mastered this form. I did this because this form is very key taxing, so I have to master it to be able to properly fight bosses without getting my ki drained constantly at a higher rate. flew to the nearest pillar after training, which was the vortex pillar. I increased the spawn rate to speed up the killing process. I went to town on them. I then destroyed the vortex pillar. I went back to base and crafted a consumable book on flight and a new scouter accessory. I then went to my next pillar, the nebula pillar, and also destroyed the pillar. The pillar dropped a very strange item that I unfortunately can't pick up due to being a legendary Super Saiyan class. If I was a normal Saiyan class, this item upon getting picked up would have transformed me into a Super Saiyan god. So yeah, it kind of missed that. Out of anger, I decided to take out my frustrations on not being able to become a Super Saiyan god out on the Stardust Pillar enemies by running their pockets and destroying their base of operations. I came back to base and made the Asper Crystallite accessory and the Super Spirit Bomb weapon. After making my new very cool weapon, I decided to go to the Solar Pillar to bully Solar Pillar, which then bullied me harder in retaliation for me bullying it. After licking my wounds, I went back for a final assault on the pillar to destroy it. Before the arrival of the Moon Lord, I hastily made the Holy Wrath weapon. I waited for Moon Lord to arrive so that I could unleash my full power and potential upon the final boss. I was praying that this boss fight was going to be a quick and easy one. Turns out my prayers were answered. After chopping a couple of Super Spirit Bombs and Holy Wraths at the Moon Lord, I decided to finish it off with the Kamehameha times 10. Things were looking good and my long journey had finally come to an end. Okay, my journey had not quite come to an end yet. I also crafted a new weapon called the Final Shine. I went to the dungeon and final shined the cultists, which spawned the lunatic cultist. Which I then nuked to oblivion with my Final Shine attack. Then obviously spawned the pillars again. I killed the pillars and harvested my class specific fragments and made the Black Powerball weapon. I summoned the Moon Lord again in order to give him the whooping of a lifetime, which basically means that I moved him harder and faster than last time, but this time I finished him off with a Final Shine instead of a Kamehameha times 10. Kill the Moon Lord again in order to get some more Luminator and craft the final armor set tier that I need. I also killed the pillars again to get some more class fragments. After getting the appropriate amount of material that I need, I made the final tier of armor, the Radiant armor set. Okay, so I was going to try out the Radiant armor set, but I lost the recording where I am trying out the armor, and I basically can't be bothered to do it again, so sorry. But the armor has basically the special ability to restore a little bit of your ki and also fire a homing projectile when you strike an enemy. Now that I've covered that bit, hello and thanks for watching the video, and welcome to a segment I like to do right after every finished playthrough, which is to give a small evaluation how the playthrough was, my likes, dislikes. Also, you can skip this part but stay right to the end of the video. I made a little edits for you to see. What I liked about this playthrough was the ability to transform into different forms that boost your base stats. The other thing I liked was the Super Saiyan class, or the normal Saiyan class, that was introduced into this mod. It came with some cool new armor, some new amazing weapons to try out. My favorite weapons were the Holy Rats and Super Spirit Bombs, and you know why. They were basically glorified nukes that Central Alt deleted a boss's health bar, which makes it fun to play with. My dislikes with this mod are not that numerous, but the main one is the key charging system. This system has been a source of constant pain for me. If you have seen my Eater of Worlds and Destroy fights, you know what I mean. Due to how slowly you have to charge your weapons and key, you have to either take a lot of damage to keep charging or to keep moving while charging, thus prolonging the fights. I don't like either option, so I would like an increase in charging speed and movement speeds while charging. Because the way things are right now, slow fights a lot of the fights just slow down to a crawl and aren't as high speed as like the fights you do with Moon Lord or the cultists. But this is just my 2 cents. I also want to see more forms in a future update, like the Super Saiyan 4 form or a legendary Great Ape form. Anyways, I have prattled long enough. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, maybe even subscribe for more content. And goodbye everyone, and happy holidays.
You're going to love this. Trust me, what you're seeing now is my normal state. This is a Super Saiyan. And this is what is known as a Super Saiyan that has ascended past a Super Saiyan. Or you could just call this a Super Saiyan 2. And this is to go even further beyond!